This is KVUE News Midday.
Happening right now, the search is on for an Austin police officer who's missing near the border. What we know so far about the investigation. And the Texas House voting on the hotly debated Senate Bill 4. What that means for law enforcement today.
And it's going to be a warm end to our work week, but we are tracking a pretty decent storm chance this weekend. I'll let you know when exactly we can expect that possible severe weather today.
A very good morning to you. I'm Corey Coffin. Thank you for joining us for midday. After more than 16 hours of emotional debate, the Texas House of Representatives has passed Senate Bill 4 that requires all law enforcement to honor ICE detainers. KVUE political reporter Ashley Godot joins us live at the Capitol now. And Ashley, the final version that passed the House has one major change.
Corey, members voted on an amendment that essentially turns the House version into the Senate version, all centered around when an officer can ask someone about their immigration status. Representative Charlie Guerin's version of the bill only let officers ask once a person had been arrested opposed to detained. Keep in mind you're detained when an officer pulls you over for a traffic violation or stops you for jaywalking. Critics say this will lead to racial profiling. Members made impassioned pleas for their colleagues to vote against the amendment, saying it will cause fear in immigrant communities. Take a listen to Representative Mary Gonzalez.
We are exaggerating when we say that the people who will be empowered by this amendment will be the criminals. We aren't exaggerating. Thanks, everyone. We aren't exaggerating when we say the people who will feel the biggest effects of this are the most vulnerable, are the women and the children who are survivors of sexual assault, of rape, human traffickers, the people who will feel the disconnect from law enforcement, the people who are supposed to make them safe.
Even the author of the bill said he would not be voting for the amendment, but despite these pleas, it was approved on a vote of 81 to 64. Democrats continue to try to pass amendments to lessen the effects of the bill until around 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when an amendment that some call unprecedented passed, forcing Democrats to lump all of their remaining amendments together and record them as failed, and the bill passed on party lines. Now today the House will take its final vote on SB 4, sending the bill to a conference committee where representatives from the House and Senate will work out the differences. Live at the Capitol, Ashley Godot, KVUE News.
What an emotional time, Ashley. Thank you. And this morning, Travis County Sheriff Sally Hernandez sent out a statement over today's vote, saying in part, "I'm very proud of our Democrat delegation. These men and women inspire me, and I have great respect for the valiant fight they continue to wage for the sake of public safety in our great state," end quote. All new this midday, authorities are investigating the cause of a fire in Bastrop that killed one person. Emergency services responded after an explosion at a mobile home. The man, identified as 68-year-old Donald Chambers, was found in the yard. He was pronounced dead at the scene, and authorities say there were oxygen tanks in his home, and Chambers was a smoker, but a cause of the fire has not yet been determined. An Austin woman in the hospital this morning after she was hit by a car while walking along the southbound lanes of I-35 last night. That happened just before 10 in the downtown area. The woman was taken to University Medical Center at Brackenridge, where officials say that she is suffering some serious injuries this midday. 2 other people were also hurt, but they are expected to be okay. A statewide manhunt continues this morning for a missing Austin police officer. The officer's patrol car found Wednesday morning at Lake Amistad. That's in Valverde County, and the lake runs along the U.S.-Mexico border. Right now, we don't know the officer's name, but we are hoping to learn more. APD says that they were notified on Tuesday about an officer being in, quote, emotional distress. Family members and fellow officers still trying to reach out. They say they've heard nothing back. The FBI is investigating several government offices in Laredo. The FBI is not saying exactly what they're investigating, but yesterday Laredo City Hall, the Public Works Office, and the Webb County Commissioner's Court were all closed. Our sister station in San Antonio says it may be linked to contracts with Dannenbaum Engineering. Investigators were reportedly at the firm's offices in multiple Texas cities yesterday. A tense, hours-long standoff in Delaware is over this midday. The suspect accused of killing a Delaware state trooper, now dead. ABC's Ariel Reshif reports.
A dramatic ending to a deadly 24 hours in Delaware.
So there were like shots going off in the neighborhood. There was like a SWAT team in the trees and everything.
The man accused of killing a Delaware state trooper, then prompting an hours-long standoff, gunned down by officers. Authorities say the man walked out of this home on Thursday morning and engaged police, prompting them to open fire. Residents of the Brick Mill Farms community returning to their homes Thursday morning after a harrowing ordeal.
Set up a perimeter, please.
The melee stemming from a shooting on Wednesday at a convenience store that claimed the life of 32-year-old Corporal Stephen Ballard.
He ran for probably 7 or 8 feet, and then he turned around and started shooting. Just instantly, just started shooting.
One suspect immediately taken into custody. Schools in the area put on lockdown as authorities hunted for a second armed suspect who fled on foot. That man eventually barricading himself inside this home. As a standoff unfolded, Corporal Ballard's fellow officers paid solemn tribute as a police convoy escorted the slain trooper's body from the hospital.
This is a sad day for our state and for the Delaware State Police family.
Ballard was an 8-year veteran of the force. Police still trying to figure out a motive for the attack that killed him. Ariel Reshef, ABC News, New York.
And now we're going to take a live look outside this midday. The sun is shining. What a gorgeous shot of our fair city. We're going to be checking in with Erica Lopez with a look at our weather.
Well, some pretty great weather out there to enjoy this gorgeous day in Austin. Temperatures are slightly cooler than yesterday at this time of the day, anywhere from a 10 to 20 degree temperature difference this afternoon because of a cold front that pushed through yesterday. It brought in some cooler and drier air in much of the Lone Star State. Austin currently at 68 degrees. Dallas just north of us 4 degrees cooler. So live look outside, clear skies, and still that dry atmosphere out there. Dew points are in the 40s, 68 in Camp Mabry, 70 currently at ABIA. Any lunch plans this afternoon? This is what you guys can expect. We'll be in the lower 70s by about noon and warming up to only the mid 80s. That's a cool down from yesterday. Yesterday we topped out at 91 degrees reported in at Camp Mabry. So lower 90s across the majority of the viewing area today, about 6 degrees cooler this afternoon. Calling it 85 for your afternoon high temperature, plenty of sunshine, cooler and dry conditions. So I'm going to chat about this severe weather threat that's in our forecast. I'll have the latest details what you guys can expect this weekend. Corey, back to you.
I would be happy if we stay out of the 90s. Erica, thank you. Now today, Boone Elementary holding a meeting for concerned parents. The issue they plan to address, plus the dangerous effects of working out too much. We'll explain.